2025 SSA Midsummer Classic, last game of the night going on here. And Hex has made it to the Winter Bracket Championship game as they beat Impact. 2 tournaments in a row now, Hex has been in the Winter Bracket Championship. They were waiting on flashback at the North-South. Meanwhile, the 45s again find themselves in the Final Four of the Winter Bracket, and they'll be playing Moneyline. And Moneyline was probably involved in the craziest game of the day. They played High Y. High Y hit them with a 9 spot in the first, and then they made the mistake of sitting on the number. They were actually up, I think, 7 heading into the 7th, and Moneyline hit them with a 9 spot, and Moneyline ended up stealing that game 13-12. And crazy ball game. And here we are now, the 8 o'clock game, last game going on in the park. Signature has advanced to Sunday, as has Flashback. I believe Meatball City. No, Meatball City just got eliminated, my bad. I don't have the bracket in front of me, but we'll do a day wrap-up when I get home tonight, and we'll make sure everything's updated for you guys. But it's been a wild tournament here on Field 1. You can see that flag still blowing out to right. And
good to go. He's good to go.
So what you're about to see here is 16-inch softball, Chicago style. We don't wear gloves, 99% of what we do. It's a clincher out of the box, not a mush ball. It will maintain its consistency. And no, the tent is not broken that you see there. We lowered it because of the sun. And you can see him bouncing that ball. You can hear it thumping on the ground, so it's pretty hard. And 60-foot bases, leadoff can't steal. 38 from the rubber to the point of home plate. Because we're playing no glove, the pitcher can take a drag step, 1 step left, right, or back. 2 fakes or hesitation. 3rd arm action must be to deliver the pitch home. A throw or a fake toward the base is considered one of your fakes or hesitation. 6-12 on the arc, open count. We swing heavy bats up to 38 ounces, 34 inches long, 2 1/4 on the barrel. There is no fence out here, and we got a very short fence that you can see there in the background. Does not go all the way around down to what would be the corner. So a lot of times we'll see balls hitting fair territory and spin foul or out of play, and those are ground rule doubles. And short fence here in front of the dugout, shorter fence over here, and an opening. So leading off going to be Anthony Sanchez, and we're about to kick it off. On the bump from Moneyline, Eric Mandarino. So here we go. Both these teams can hit. And we saw in that Hex game where they fell behind and came back to get the win. No lead is safe. And there's a hard ground ball up the middle. So Anthony Sanchez, having a good summer, continues his hot hitting. And he'll bring up Nate Mercado in the 45s. Have looked terrific in this tournament. We'll see if they get over their bugaboo this year, which has been on Sundays, but they're way too good to not win on Sunday. And Nate Mercado knocked down by Ryan Drabel. He didn't handle it clean. Would have been a tricky throw, but he elected to get an out, and sometimes that's what you want to do. If you try to force something and it doesn't work out for you, all of a sudden you open up the Pandora's box, and these big teams will drop a big number on you. Here's Jeff Mastari.
Nobody there, kid. Nobody there.
And it's cooled off. It's only about 86 at game time. But we do have a breeze and no sun, so and very low humidity. So this is actually not horrible. And if you're going to be out here tomorrow, it's going to click up a couple of degrees. 4 o'clock when the championship game might be kicking off, depending on if we're behind or not. It's supposed to be 97. And the teams have done a good job of managing themselves in the context of staying hydrated. So runner on second went out here for Mastari. And he draws a walk. And we have seen more walks as the day has gone on. Some of these pitchers throwing a lot of balls up there, and the wind has blown it around a little bit. So Chris Lentine goes hard, but it's going to die. Ian Holst will get it in. Mercado tags, and a good job there of hitting the cutoff man. That ball goes to the plate. Jeff has got a chance to go to second. But a nice throw right on the money to the cutoff man. Had Eric not cut that, it would have been a beautiful one-hop throw to the plate. So runners on the corner, 2 outs, and here's Jimmy Moretti.
Hey, we got 2 down, kid. 1 to 3 for me.
And I see Israel Sanchez is in the lineup, so I assume he's going to pitch, and Moretti comes through, just reaches out. Mastari's going to blow through any stop sign. No, now he slams the brakes on, and a head first slide back. So the 45s on a 2-out base hit by Moretti take the lead here, 1-0. And Jeff was really flying. I thought he was going to go and blow past the stop sign. But another good job by Moneyline of getting it in and making a good hard throw to the cutoff man. And here's Kevin. Hits a little high chopper. Brian Davis called him safe off the bag. We'll take a look at it. And I got rid of that little replay graphic. I think that was chewing up my replay time. So we'll see if we...
Hey, Jimmy, 2 down over there.
Oh, that was awful close. So 2-0 45s here. Brian Davis has shifted over to shortstop. The normal shortstop, Jason Gannett, has not been here today. And Brian did everything right. The throw just sailed on him. And here's Mike Marola. And there's a little ground ball. Nick Dravo will beat Kevin to the bag. And that'll be the end of the inning. So Marola grounds out, but they pick up a pair on a 2-out hit and a 2-out error. Unearned runs. Well, one of them is. So Moneyline will go with Lenny Gonzalo, Brian Davis, and Rob Grisano here in the bottom of the first. I don't think 2 is going to be enough. And yeah, I mean, we get wind out here in Chicago, but this summer has been really crazy. I mean, we haven't gotten really that much rain, although it did rain Wednesday night into Thursday, and we had a little rain on Thursday in the afternoon. I think they said we're down about 4.5 inches. And on the flip side, we're not getting a lot of rain, but we're getting a ton of wind. And it has wreaked havoc in some of these games. Niagara Falls, New York. Nice. So here's Lenny Gonzalo. He grabs a strike there. And Lenny just keeps pounding the ball. We were saying at the Dome League that he was the guy to keep an eye on this year. And the thing to keep an eye on is they got Jimmy Moretti playing up the middle at short center today. And Jimmy back in the day was a pretty good infielder, but I think that's a big ask. And Davis, a little chopper to Mastari, a little bobble high throw off the screen, and it goes right to Villarreal at second. So Jeff Mastari stayed down, caught it clean, and then he threw it wide right.
Shake it, let's go!
And Jeff has a tendency.
Hey, see you later!
sometimes get his arm slot a little low and it lags. And he gets that kind of screwball spin on the ball. And with this little bit of a cross breeze and you put that kind of spin, the ball's going to have a little bit more of a dramatic effect. So I'd like to see him work on. No, I can't. If I hit the button, it'll go back to the original live broadcast. And Rod Grisano slaps it. Mercado will go to shortwave for 1, but Moneyline is on the board.
Brian, my fault, Brian.
And Robbie not happy with the swing, but he did hustle down the line to make sure there was no double play. So 1 out now, and a runner here at first for Ryan Drabel.
Hey, that's a good pitch.
Even with your 10 feet, my bad.
And Ryan hits it hard, and now going back and making the catch is Anthony Sanchez. He started in, and the wind has shifted just ever so subtly more toward right center. It was blown straight out to left, so that ball wasn't quite affected as much, and it almost took off and got over his head. So 2 outs, here's Lane Neiman Jr. And Lane smokes it through Mastari at third. Robbie will stop at second. And it brings up Eric Davis. Now there's 2 outs. And they're not as deep as they'll play some guys. You see Ricky Davis chokes up about 3-4 inches, and sometimes it gets even more dramatic. Hard to generate consistent power when you're that high up on the bat. Some guys will be low on the, and there's a little slow roller. Danny Villarreal makes the play. So 2-1 heading to the second. Again, double elimination, so the loser will still be in the tournament. The winner will play Hex in the winner bracket championship game. So what I was saying about Eric, we see a lot of guys that'll be down by the knob, and then as the pitch comes, to loosen the grip and let the bat slide down a couple inches. But Eric doesn't really kind of fool you. He just kind of shows you it right away. And again, for as hot as it's been and as windy, there really has not been a lot of dust blowing off of these fields. The magician, that would be Richie Arico, soaked them this morning knowing they'd dry out pretty quick. So here's Adam Haas. And Adam goes the other way and dumps a single, and they'll get it in quick to hold him to a single. So I believe that's Nick Jacob in center field. Brings up Villarreal. So both these teams look a little hitterish. 45s had to beat Whale to get here, and they won that game handily. Moneyline had the more emotional win, having to come back in the 7th when it looked like they were dead and buried. Villarreal right up the chute, but it's going to get out of play.
Hey, wait a weak one.
Come on, kid.
Go, Danny.
So we got somebody from Niagara Falls, somebody from Bradenton, Florida checking us out, and now Southwest Missouri.
You're good right here. You're good right here.
SSA broadcasts on Facebook, Twitter, X, I should say. There's Villarreal, and coming in is Ian Holst, and he makes an easy catch. Of course, we're also on our YouTube channel, SSA Broadcast. And let me tell you, the games look pretty nice. If you got a smart TV, put it on there if you ever want to re-see the games. we prefer you come to Facebook and follow our page. It helps us do what we do and for our analytics. And Israel right up the chute, everybody running, and little bobble, but Lane Neiman Jr. holds on. So Lane called that early. He got there, hit him in the chest, but he held on.
Hey, we got you down.
Boop. So here's Chuck Regaldo now, 2 outs. Haas will be running on the swing. And there's a chopper. Mandarino couldn't find the ears for a split second. That might have hit him in the jaw. So they get a leadoff single. They can't do anything with it. And we're going to head now to the bottom of the second. It'll be Ian Holtz, Nick Drabel, and Nick Jacob. Anybody gets on, the pitcher, Eric Mandarino. So the umpire's going to talk something over. And again, these two teams have been pretty consistent all summer. Moneyline was still alive. They were playing, I believe, BTA in the North-South when the rains came. I think that was a 4-3 game. I want to say Moneyline was up a run. And Ian Holtz, line drive in Israel, the ex-first baseman, just kind of popped it up. If you're going to beat Israel up the middle, you're going to want to either go at his feet or make him move right or left. You hit a line drive back at him, and he's going to snag it. Israel in the Hall of Fame as a first baseman, one of the best. Back in the day, man, he could do about anything. And there's a spinner, and nobody could get there. Villarreal was on the grass, and Jimmy Moretti just kind of looked at it. He knew he wasn't going to get there. And you couldn't have, if you were a pitcher, you couldn't have thrown it out there any better. So here's Nick Jacob. Back-to-back Knicks in the lineup. And they like this kid. They think he's going to be pretty good. He's a tremendous athlete. And he hits a little chopper to Mastari. Not in time. And Mastari, a little bobble there, but he held on and threw a strike to Villarreal. So 2 outs now. They do pick up a little speed here at first. And here's Eric Mandarino. And they're really cheating Eric in the outfield. And he tries to go hard, but
Let's go.
right there. So at the end of 2-1, and both teams have cycled through the lineup one time. We're going to head to the top of the third inning here. Still 2-1. Again, Moneyline, the other day against Signature, they came out of the gate fast, but it seems like more often than not, they don't seem to get going until like the 4th inning. And it's very bizarre, and then all of a sudden they just turn into animals.
Yeah, no, I know. I was just asking.
Well, Highway lost to Moneyline. They're still in the event. I want to say they're playing flashback tomorrow. This is the last game of the night, Anthony. And they were up in that game in the 7th inning, 11-4. Moneyline hit them with a 9 spot. And then High White came back, and there's a fly ball to center, and Jacob makes the catch. So Sanchez flies out, leading off the third. There was a little bit of a base running gaffe, and I believe they had the tie at second, at second, and the game ended. It was 13-12, I believe. So again, they scored 9 in the first, and Hawaii just sat on that number a long time. And then was another example. Moneyline in the first inning looked like they never played the game before. And then all of a sudden, they flipped the switch. And so this is Nate Mercado now. And Nate drives it toward the gap. And that's a base hit, and Jacob a little fumble. Strong arm, though. And he gets it in. I think Nate might have had a double anyway. But it came off the grass hot. And there was a little bobble there. So Jeff Mastari a chance to extend the lead here. Jeff can go the other way. Now the wind is shifting and it's blowing more toward the line. Line drive, dropped by Drabo. You saw there, Nick tried to wind up, but Nate Mercado was in his line of sight. And I think he was worried about maybe throwing one away if he went over the top. And he just ate it. You can see where Nate is. So, first and second, one out. And here's Chris Lentine. And Chris pops it up the elevator shaft. Holst makes the catch. Throws it in. Oh, and he hit the umpire. Throw to the plate, not in time. And that's a bad break. Oscar had his back turned. He got hit right in the back. And then the ball on the relay and knocked Oscar's glasses off. Ian Holtz was thrown to second. That happened to us when I was in Flash. We were playing Windy City in the no glove, and an umpire was standing there right in the throwing lane. Got hit in the rear end. So here's Moretti. And Jimmy goes the other way, and Ian Holtz makes the catch. So they get a break there. The runner was not going to come home on that play until it hit the umpire and rolled into no man's land on the infield. So a little bit of a break for the 45s. They stretch out to a 2-run lead.
He said he was trying to hit the cutoff. Yeah, look, the cutoff.
So here we go, top of the lineup. So the top of the 45 lineup ends up pushing a run across. They pushed 3 across. They're 2 times up. Stop it, Michael. Just stop it. So here comes Lenny Gonzalo. And Gonzalo swings and drives it up the middle for a base hit. If you want to put comments like that, that'll get you banned because we're not into this political nonsense. We're here to play softball. So leadoff man on is Gonzalo, another hit, and it brings up Brian Davis. And there's a ground ball the other way. Mercado goes the short way, and they just get Lenny at second. And Nate's got some fast hands. He literally started throwing that ball the minute it touched his hands. A lot of times you'll see a shortstop try to do that, and they don't get the ears on it. So here's Rob Cresano. Sorry, folks, it's been a long day out in the sun.
What is?
Come on, Ed. I'm losing right here. Let's go.
Anyway.
So Robbie going to slide up in the box. You know my thought on that. But he does draw the walk, so brings up Ryan Drabo. One out here, and Moneyline trying to put something together. So here comes Ryan Drabo. Ryan's been swinging the bat pretty good as well. But when you look at the stats on Game Changer, and There's a little ground ball, could be 2, over to Moretti, not in time. Davis gets the 3rd, so they get back-to-back fielder choices.
We got 2, let's go!
With the walk sandwiched in between, and it brings up Lane Neiman Jr. Lane rifled the ball. He got it through Mastari his last time up.
Come on, Lane.
And there's a rock, and Mastari makes the catch as he goes down to a knee. And he makes a great catch on that ball. So we're going to head to the top of the 4th. See the replay. Nice play. He rolled over to make sure that ball didn't squirt out. So we head to the 4th. Snappy ball game. Coming up is going to be Kevin.
Okay, get us going here. Here we go, guys.
I'm not too familiar with Kevin. And there's a high, towering fly ball. Center fielder Jacob makes the play for out number 1. Brings up Mike Marola. So again, the winter bracket championship game will be at 1:45 tomorrow. Winner here plays Hex. And if there was any doubt that Hex was worthy of a bye, I think those questions have been answered. So Mike rounds out for out number 2. And it brings up Adam Haas. So here's Adam now, trying to get something going here with 2 outs. And there's a line drive up the middle. Again, he works that center of the field quite a bit. And that's going to bring up Danny Villarreal.
You're good. A
little late night softball in Chicago.
You're good right here. You're good.
Well, I would think Moneyline has got an edge to get one, Chris. I think they're still alive in the North-South, and you know and they get the weird hop, and they get the fielder's choice at second. Adam's like, what the hell? So gratuitous hop. So Chris, I would think Moneyline would get one of them. They've been very solid all year, and you know, they got that big win over Signature on I think that was Thursday night. These days all merged together, and they hit, man. You know, and you know, Thursday night they had pretty much their whole team out here, and when they're all here, and they got the Gannick brothers here, they're tough, man. Right now they're surviving with their bats today more so than their defense. And there's a hopper off of Mastari, and he'll have to eat it. So Jeff is getting some wicked stuff hit his way this game. And you know, it's tough because he's always been a shortstop since he came here. And it's a lot different when you're at the hot corner, for sure. So here's Ian Holst. So, you know, if we take for granted Hexham money line, that leaves, and there's a little roller, and that'll be an out. And just so y'all know, I got nothing to do with it. So don't send me hate texts and everything else. And I think High Y got a big game tomorrow against Flashback. And I think between High Y, BTA, Pharaohs, you're looking at contenders for one or two of those buys. I think coming in, I might have said March. I'm not sure if March is even still in the tournament. And there's a ground ball deflected. Villarreal makes the play, and they get the second out. So Danny Villarreal made a little adjustment off the deflection. So it'll be very interesting to see what happens. I think if High Y beats Flash tomorrow, I think they might have a inside track toward a bid. And of course, the Pharaohs are still alive in the North-South and finished fourth at the TOC. And BTA's had a pretty good tournament run too, and that ball is driven into the gap. Chris Downs, not known for his power, split the gap. Throw to the plate, gonna be close. Safe. Chris Downs, you don't expect him to go large, especially in a cross breeze. And we'll hit that replay button and see if we got it. No, we just caught the end. And you can see. Let's go!
Hey, we got two. Let's go!
So we're all tied at 3 on the 2-out, 2-run bomb into the gap. They were cheating him a little bit, but he really leaned on that. And you know, Chris back in the day wasn't a guy that really tried to beat you. And there's a swing. Right here. That's very possible, Chris, and it wouldn't surprise me. That's why I think High Y held on and beat money line. I think they would have made a late case. And again, you know, the criteria that Forest Park uses is their criteria. So, and Lenny made that close, but the bottom of the lineup chips in, and they tie the game. So, you know what? We'll find out as we're heading toward the end. You know, those invites go out right after July 1st. So, I'm sure they're going to probably start meeting and talking about it very soon. And it'll be very interesting to see how it shakes down. And again, you know, the problem with trying to pick teams for that in buys are that league play with all the trouble that teams have getting guys out sometimes isn't a very good indicator unless you're at the game and you can say, okay, Team A and Team B got their full squads out, assuming they're both major. You know, sometimes the win and the loss in the league is tough to calculate. Now, it doesn't mean teams don't show up short for tournaments. And here's Israel, and he just floats it over the infield for a leadoff hit. And that'll bring up Chuck. We'll see if the bottom of the 45 lineup here can generate any offense heading to the top. You might have heard Israel. They asked him if he wanted a pinch runner. He says, I'll go. We don't have anybody. So here's Chuck Regaldo. So really, the tournament play is a little bit more of an indicator. And even then, you got to look to see who's shorthanded. You know, money line, like I said, they pretty much had their full team out here Thursday. They look fantastic. And Chuck walks the dog into right field. So the bottom of the 45 lineup trying to answer just like the bottom of the money line lineup. And I'm behind an inning, folks. We're in the 5th. But believe it or not, we don't play games there. The tournament schedule is so tight. Can't really, there's no real space to create a tournament. And they got the Sunday League out there, which is fantastic. That's one of the leagues we use for our point standings.
Nobody here.
So we take that into consideration. There's a ground ball. Lane took a look. It will drive a run in, and the 45s creep back ahead 4-3.
Hey, we got one down right there. One down.
And again, I would have to look at the game changer and
Hey, we got one down. Nobody there, Chuck.
look at the standings and then go back and look at some of the brackets
Nobody there, kid.
from the North-South,
Hey,
TOC, and
there,
this
Chuck.
tournament.
Nobody there.
And then you can get a better feel. And there's a little flair. Because a lot of times you catch breaks in tournaments. For example, Circus lost early in this tournament. Signature lost early in this tournament. Flashback lost early in this tournament. So
Hey, Chuck, we got one down
sometimes
right
you
there,
get
kid.
teams that advance in a winner's bracket, but they didn't play anybody.
Nobody there, Chuck.
So that's a thankless job. I'm glad we got nothing to do with trying to seed that tournament. And there's a high fly ball. And that ball is caught. And again, and money line, the one thing they have done in this ball game is they are getting it in quick and hitting the cutoff man. So Mastari, a 2-out chance here to pick up the second run of the inning. I don't know if that answer helped you or not. And it was a long roundabout way. And then again, which seed you get's important too. Because Flashback won that tournament. So if you're 5, you're in a bracket with Flashback. And if you're 8, you're in a bracket with Flashback. If you're 6 and 7, you'd be in a bracket with the 45s. And I don't quite remember if Circus or Signature finished 3rd. So a lot of times, you got to take a look at who the 1 and 2 seeds are. Sometimes you get a bye and you don't necessarily want to get the seed that they give you. And there's a ground ball kick save. Davis tried to come in last second and make a play, but not in time. Mastari, tall kid, long strider, beats it out, and they put another run on the board. And there's a lot of NHL goalies like to have that leg action.
Nobody's here, kid.
So 5, and he goes hard, just foul. Just foul. So 5-3 here. My inning didn't change. I thought I changed it.
I saw Chalk. Yeah.
Again, it's been a long day. A lot of glare.
Hey, don't talk like that. My mom's watching.
Got a little eye strain.
Yeah, you don't
So
want to
Chris Lentine missed that right field line by not much.
You already know.
Okay, so Signature 3, Circus 4. So Circus and whoever the 8 by would be up with Flashback. And Chris, Nick Drabel knocked it down, couldn't make the play, now he throws. there's Scotty Zarnick, of course, the Zarnick family underwriting the Tom Egg Zarnick Class A No Glove National Championship up in Schaumburg next weekend for you 8 teams. We're doing the draw tomorrow night out here at Bulger Park. So try to have a rep there. And I know there's a few 8 teams playing in that Monday league. So Matty Dozen just wanting to slow things down a little bit. Jimmy Moretti in the box now, runners on the corner. So we're seeing some funny bounces in this game. We saw an umpire got hit
Jimmy, you wanted it. Let's go, Bulger.
from a throw. We saw a ball off of Mandarino deflected to the short center for a fielder's choice.
Hey, here we go, Jimmy!
Monday night, did I say tomorrow? Yeah, Monday. You know, we're all going to be puddles tomorrow, and depending on what time this ends, it's going to be a little rough. In fact, I'll be spending my Sunday night getting the materials ready for that after I get home at whatever time that is. So I'm a little sleep deprived at this point in the weekend. And there's a strike.
Get off.
And there he goes, a little short pop-up. Ian Holst on the run. Makes it, oh, he dropped it. Ian's been so good. He's been so good. That time he got there. And as he hit the carpet and started to kind of roll over on his side, it popped out. So Moneyline having a tough inning here as they fall behind by 3. Biggest lead of the game for the 45s. And here's Kevin.
Hey, nobody down. We got 2 down, Jim.
Kevin R. They did not put his last name on the lineup card. And there's a fly ball to center coming in as Jacob. And he drops the ball. He got there, was going to make a belly catch. And it bounced right off of his upper abdomen. So Moneyline.
Here we go, 7!
Yeah, we got 2 down right there, kids. 2 down.
And Jacob is a young kid. Normally they put Ian Holst in center,
Yeah, kid, you're good.
but they're down an outfielder today.
Hey, 5 years
You're good, kid. You're good.
So Moneyline just trying to get out of this nightmare of an inning. And Mike Marola. And fortunately, it doesn't bounce. And we got dueling fans over there. A little kid and a female fan. They had a foot race. This little guy right here with the hat on ended up winning the foot race.
Oh, let's reset right here, kid. You're good. You're good. You got 2 down.
Of course, if you want to buy a vehicle, Ziegler.
Oh, let's go.
And Marola comes through, another run. So the 45's starting to free swing a little bit. They go up 8-3 here. And it brings up Adam Haas. And I got to tell you, if I was defending this kid, I'd be squeezing the middle and trying to get him to do something else. Nick Drabel way over from second. Adam has been pumping the ball to the left field side, a second base all year.
You're good, Mike.
And there he tried it again, but Mandarino got in the hole and jumped it. That ball was heading exactly where you would think if you watched Adam all year. So Moneyline, a little bit of a hole now that they got to work out of. And the 45s have taken a 6-run lead. I'm sorry there, I missed a run. So it's going to be Brian Davis, Robbie Grisano, and Ryan Drabel, 2, 3, 4 If you're a money line fan, they're at a good part of their lineup here. And I'm going to grab a little water. So here's Davis.
There you go.
Hey, way to start. Way
In
to
a
start.
game like this, your stars got to be stars. It's great to get help from the bottom, but if your top isn't doing what they're supposed to, then it's a long day. Sorry, I think I had the microphone up over the top of my hat. And Davis scalds it the other way, but right at Anthony Sanchez.
Hey, way to go, hit!
Got that up in the air, and again with that little cross breeze, just kind of held it up in the air, and Anthony got there easily. And Anthony gets good jumps, and he takes good routes. May not be the fastest kid, but he does a really, really nice job in left field. So that pitch a little over the top and inside. And Robbie off of Israel. And Israel stayed right with it. He closed the gap between his legs. Looked like Dorothy in the Wizard of Oz clicking his heels. And the ball stayed right there for him. He was a little off balance, but he made the play. So 2 outs for Ryan Drabel. Again, Moneyline expended a ton of energy and emotion. And Ryan got Chuck on the run, and it gets over the top. And Ryan Drabel going to Cadillac it in. And all 3 money line runs, or 4 money line runs, 3, excuse me, I'll change the scoreboard. Sorry, got there late. No, 4 have come via the home run. No, I take that back. It didn't. Chris Downs was with 3 of the 4. There's Lane Neiman, and he crushes one into center. It's always interesting how you can be. And one guy puts one good swing on the softball, and all of a sudden everybody breaks out of a trance. Oh, Cardinal sin there. Cardinal sin. Eric Davis took a big step up and then didn't offer at it. You got to let your base runner know, batters. And Davis right up the chute, and he'll just go ahead and pop over. So Davis, new life. Two outs. Lane Jr. over here is going to be flying on the pitch.
Hey, go get him! Go get him!
And there's a ground ball to Mastari, steps and throws in time. So they pick up a run, can't do anything else. Game flying by here as we head to the top of the 6th.
Now we shake it all out. Yeah, shake it out.
And I see John Robinson's grabbed the bat. is going to take a swing for Israel. But first, it's going to be Danny Villarreal, then J-Rock for Izzy, and then Chuck Regaldo. And of course, J-Rock can pitch, so if you got somebody like him who can pitch and you're going to hit for Israel, might as well use a guy who can pitch. And Danny stings it into center field. And he gets a base hit. I've always liked Danny's game. He's kind of a quiet kid. He goes about his business, moves the ball around, can play multiple positions. And he's been a mainstay on this team now for quite a few years since he came over here. So here's J-Rob. And J-Rob, a little ground ball, and it sneaks through. And there's a throw in, and I think Oscar breathed a sigh of relief that he didn't get hit again.
Attaboy 32. Hey, Melrose back.
And here's Chuck Regaldo. I would think up 9-4. So the Hall of Famer, Larry Downs, is going to come in and pinch run. And you would think Chuck would try to go the other way here. And he's got a lot of space in right field. He was going.
Okay, way to waste one, Chuck. Way to waste one.
That ball was short. It might have been inside. If you're a young hitter and you got a job to do, in other words, go the other way, don't be in a hurry. Get a pitch that you can execute what you're trying to do. And there he tries again, and that's trouble, and it drops. Another run scores. Downs will get to third. And that is at least the second little flare that the 45s have hit. That's dropped in today, and now big trouble. So the bottom of the 45 lineup been very productive. They got 11 on the board. 2 did score on that. And here's Anthony Sanchez. He's going to drive in another run, and Chuck will go to third. I'm not sure. They had 9. Downs didn't score. It should be 11 now, I would think. So we're going to leave it at 11 for now and see if they correct the scoreboard. Ramp, is that the right score? Yeah, so it is 11. They put that up a little prematurely. Here's Nate Mercado. Well, they've been playing shorthanded, and they don't have a lot of guys on their bench today. And sometimes you win a game, and there's a little bit of a bobble there by Ryan, and you expend so much energy and emotion. And like I said, they came back from the dead against Hawaii, and they only had one game to recover, and the game before this, I think, only went 6 innings. So they didn't even get a full game to kind of burn. A lot of times you get that adrenaline, and then it wears off, and you're a little flat. And Mastari, a slow roller to Gonzalo. Nick Drabel with a nice job there. I think Nick started to step out a little bit like a first baseman, and the throw wasn't quite where he thought it was going to be. So 2 outs in the inning now for Chris Lentine, but 45's got it in high gear, up 8 in the top of the 6th.
Come on, Chris. Let's go, Chris. Go, Chris. What's up? Your ball, Chris. Your ball. Your ball.
Yeah, if you want to score.
Got this, Chris.
Nobody here, kid.
Come on, Chris.
And I'm a little surprised because Rob Grisano did not pitch in the Hawaii game. They've given up 12 here, and they're sticking with Eric. Eric certainly a quality pitcher, but and there's a ball gets past Nick Drabel. Mastari's in 13 runs, and now they throw it in, and Nick Drabel had his head down, and he just took the throw right in the shoulder.
Come on, Chris!
So we talk about imposing your will.
Hey, Chris, we got 2 down over there.
45 certainly doing that.
Jimmy!
13-4, base hit here gets him into mercy rule territory. And Moretti, a hard cut, fair ball. He drives in a run, and it's 14-4. So I'm not quite sure. Matty Dozen and the crew in the money line sideline.
Join the party, Kev. Let's go.
Hey, we got 2 down. Jimmy, go in here.
Right back on it.
Got any more miracles left today? And Kevin swings, it's a towering fly ball. Davis makes the catch. So that was an example. We had a drop fly ball that inning, and it really opened the floodgates. So 45's chasing 3 outs here.
Hey, let's go. Start to the first one here. Let's go.
If they get them with no damage, they'll be playing Hex at 145 for the winter bracket championship. So tomorrow's going to be hot, folks. I'm going to try to do a 10 a.m. game. And so we got a little firework or something went off in the background. And I think that flashback high-Y game might be at 10 a.m. If it is, we may try to stream that. Kind of like we did this morning before the heat really settles in.
Adam, here is.
So Frank Jekyll broke a finger at the TOC. This might be his first at-bat since. He had it all wrapped up early, and Frank Jekyll gets a base hit. And you can see he does have it wrapped. You know, sometimes you get a hand injury, and it forces you to do things you wouldn't normally do, and the next thing you know, you read this. He says, yeah, I'm back. Not quite an MJ moment, but
Not quite. FJ.
FJ, attaboy. So, and Frank was playing quite a bit for Moneyline. He was swinging it good, and there's a hot shot past Moretti. So Preston Miranda drives a hard hit.
Come on, Jimmy.
So here's Nick Jacob.
Steal one!
Eric Mandarino is on deck. So the bottom here trying to... There's a little short flare. Sanchez is there. And he's going to throw to the plate.
Nice job!
What a throw. So no tag there. Again, you're chasing a lot. You don't want to give up the out when you have a potential get under 10. So Mandarino chance to help himself here and extend the game to 7 at a minimum.
You're fine here.
And he hits it off Israel, pops in the air, double play, and the 45s in 6 innings advance to the championship game. So Israel threw a hand up, got a piece, and hopefully we'll see it here on the replay, right to Moretti. And after that, he could have rolled it to first. So the 45s back in another winter bracket championship game. Tomorrow it'll be against Hex. 2 teams playing good ball, and that should be a good one. Hopefully it won't be 110 out here, and we'll be able to suffer through a stream. So we hope you enjoyed the coverage, folks. At some point tonight, everything will be updated. And we hope you enjoyed the coverage today. Did the best we could in this heat. As Chuck Regaldo got to get to work. He's hustling. And we appreciate you. We love all of you. Thank you for tuning in. And we will definitely